through your research and the work you've done, um, what are the rights or the lack of rights that women refugees have?
So, women, when they become refugees, are in a population that is considered to be much more vulnerable. Often they form quite a large majority of those refugees, depending on the context, of course, and they're vulnerable to all sorts of abuse and exploitation. So, for instance, in Lebanon, women refugees sometimes are heads of households because their husbands are not with them, or they've died, or they were single women, and so on. And once they become heads of households, they're in a position where they are required to ensure that they are able to provide for their families and young children and so on. But in Lebanon, many of them were experiencing issues such as harassment, exploitation. So, for instance, their landlords were, increasing rent or asking for sexual favors. They're around the workplace because they're much more vulnerable as refugees because they need that financial sustenance. They end up being much more vulnerable to other forms of abuse and exploitation.
Okay, would you personally say that women need to be prioritised to go into safe places when they become refugees, women and children? Is it important for both of them to be prioritised?
I think there's a general acceptance that there needs to be measures taken, especially for women and children. Now, there are a range of issues you need to think about when women become refugees, and it depends on it's the place settings as well. So, for instance, if they're living in camps, you need to think about sanitation and hygiene. You need to think about where women are there toilets, for instance, are the
Yeah.
toilets separate? So if women need to be able to go to the bathroom, can they do so feeling safe and not feeling like they might be subject to sexual abuse or harassment?
Yeah.
So there are situations where women wouldn't go to the toilets, for instance, because the likelihood of being raped or abused in other ways, and also ensuring that the camp setting is in such that women are not prohibited from moving around as well, because sometimes families also try to keep control in order to sort of, quote unquote, protect them as
Yeah.
well. So there needs to be ways of ensuring that there's adequate protection for women, but also to ensure that there's enough measures in place for both them and children.
Okay, thank you.